down to Virginia. Western PA, Virginia, this area. Baltimore. He was in, down in Raleigh. He just came to watch the game. He just came to watch us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2017 NCAA Division III Baseball Mid-Atlantic Regional at Peoples Bank Park in York, Pennsylvania. Tonight's game 12 of the tournament featuring the Shenandoah Hornets and the Alvernia Crusaders. As a reminder to all spectators, please be alert at all times during today's games. Baseballs can accidentally fly into the seating areas. Be alert to the action. The NCAA and the Middle Atlantic Conference want everyone to have a safe and enjoyable day watching the best college baseball in the nation. Thank you. Now the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Shenandoah Hornets. Batting first, the second baseman, number 7, Tristan Baker. Second, the right fielder, number 51, Abel Orocho. Batting third, the center fielder, number 25, Nick Good. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 54, Jake Lowe. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 11, Dan Cameron. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 4, Luke Newsman. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 27, Neil Dutton. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 12, Christian Rice. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 6, Robert Marcel. Pitching for the Hornets, number 47, Robert Lajob. The head coach of Shenandoah is Kevin Anderson. Assistant coaches are Bruce Cameron, Jacob Bates, and Nick Scores. for the Crusaders. Batting first, the center fielder, number 8, Colin Rieger. Batting second, the second baseman, number 4, Mike Cirilli. Batting third, the shortstop, number 9, Nathan Sides. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 27, Cameron Coons. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 15, Matt Reiner. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 11, Ben Dubis. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 28, Franco Esposito. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 3, Stephen Carbonera. And batting ninth, the third baseman, number 32, Dylan Dunn. Pitching for the Crusaders, number 31, Nicholas Marotta. The head coach of Alvernia is Yogi Lutz. Assistant coaches John O'Mara, Todd Lavau, Rich Gaynor, and Zachary Haas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the umpires for tonight's game. At first base, Dave Snyder. At second base, Jason McDermott. At third base, Lou Kiermaier. And behind home plate, Ron Black.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to People's Bank Park in York, Pennsylvania, home of the York Revolution, hosting this year's 2017 NCAA Division III Mid-Atlantic Baseball Regional. Now we have a game between the Crusaders of Alvernia. They'll play as the home team, and the Hornets of Shenandoah will play as the visitors. Crusaders in their black jerseys. Bright red for the Hornets. On the mound for the Crusaders will be number 31, Nicholas Marotta. Coach, what do you know about Marotta?
Yeah, we've seen Marotta the first night of this tournament. Righty, sits mid-80s with his fastball, decent slider, changeup. Threw a little bit for Alvernia as both a starter and a reliever. Entering the night tonight, Marotta has appeared in 11 games with 5 of those starts. 4-2 record, 4.54 ERA, 35 2/3 innings, 32 strikeouts, 18 walks. Opponents are hitting 246 off of him. Marotta, like we said, power pitcher, mid-righties or mid-80s. He will walk a guy or two from time to time. Gives up just under a hit per inning. So when Marotta's on, he's throwing strikes, working ahead, getting guys to swing and miss at his off speed. When he's struggling, he'll be down to the count, and hitters will be able to sit on his fastball. So we'll know pretty early if Marotta's got his stuff. Decent number 4, number 5 pitcher for the Crusaders. Good guy to have available in this role.
And the first batter he'll face is number 7, the second baseman for Shenandoah, Tristan Baker. Both of these teams winning games earlier today to stay alive in the losers bracket. This is an elimination game.
Yeah, and we're down to our final 4 here at the Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Baker takes strike 1.
Wheaton from Massachusetts just gave Johns Hopkins their first loss of the tournament. So the winner of tonight's game will play Johns Hopkins tomorrow.
And it's 0-2 on Baker. Marotta working ahead. fouled away.
And that's going to be the key for Marotta. Is he able to get ahead with his fastball? His fastball is good, but he has to be locating it. Mid-80s fastball, you can beat hitters with it, but it has to be located well. And then all of his off-speed stuff works off of his fastball.
Pitch from Marotta up high, ball 1-2 the count.
Yeah, it looks like they intentionally were trying to get that fastball up a little too high. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming back with a slider down and away.
Baker with a strong game earlier today, 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 runs scored. And that one's ripped down the line and left. Baker's around first looking for extra bases. And he'll get into second base standing up. Leadoff double for the Hornets. Abel Orocho will step up to the plate.
Marotta did throw that slider. He tried to bury it low and away to get the swing and miss. He left it up. Looks like it was in the middle third of the plate. Baker did a great job of turning on it and driving it down the left field line. Now let's see what happens with the left-handed hitter Rocho.
Rocho also 2 for 3 in the win over Leslie that eliminated the Lynx, the 8th seed from this Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Alvernia thinking Orocho might sacrifice bunt, pulling an inside move to see if he'll show.
And that's a ground ball up the middle. It gets past the diving Sorelli. And we're going to be on the board for Shenandoah's Baker. Rounds third and comes home. First pitch single for Orocho. And Shenandoah wastes no time getting on the scoreboard here as they take a 1-0 lead. Just 2 batters into the game.
Yeah, and good decision. Coach Anderson not having a Orocho bunt obviously worked out for him. Orocho's been one of their better hitters over the course of the last 3 days. Lefty, likely to pull the ball anyway. Get that runner over. Not only do they get him over, but they drive him in.
Nick Good swings at the first pitch. The third baseman grabs it over to second. 5-4 on the putout. The relay not in time. Will go down as a fielder's choice.
We've talked about it many times over the course of this regional, but number 54, Jake Lowe, 57 RBIs on the season, 47 games. He's a cleanup hitter for the Hornets.
First pitch from Marotta, 0-1. The 0-1 off the outside edge. 1-1 the count.
The 2 starting pitchers of tonight's game have a combined 10 starts on the season. Both pitchers have been used in different roles. Both of these offenses are capable of putting up runs, so I don't expect one run to be the deciding factor in tonight's game.
Good earlier today, went 1 for 3, scored a run, drove in a run. Runner going, and Lowe hits it the other way into left field. That'll be a single. It'll be first and second with 1 out.
Looked like a hit and run there. The runner was moving on the pitch. Lowe staying back, attempting to hit the ball to the opposite field. Did just that. Esposito bluffed the catch, which forced Good to hold up at second. At least from our view, it was clearly dropping. Good move by Esposito. Otherwise, it would have been first and third with 1 out.
And that brings up Dan Cameron. Cameron got his first game off of this regional in this morning's contest. He takes the first pitch for a ball with a pair of runners on.
Yeah, of course, both of these teams have already played games today. Alvernia played game 1 and Shenandoah game 2. Both teams with different catchers in this nightcap.
That pitch hits Cameron. He'll trot down to first to load the bases with Hornets.
Yeah, that looked like that slider there. That breaking pitch, Maroda hasn't been able to locate so far this inning. The leadoff double to Baker was on a hanging breaking ball in the inner half and just plunked Cameron with that. Newsman really struggled. Sorry, Jeff, in this early afternoon game.
He went 1 for 4 in that contest. Did manage 1 base hit. A 4-1 win for the Hornets over Leslie. The 1-0 pitch from Maroda. Fouled away.
Yeah, and I apologize. Newsman actually went 1 for 4 with an RBI in game 1. It was the next hitter, Dutton, that was 0 for 2 with a strikeout and was pinch hit for later on in the ball game.
The 1-1. That pitch can't find the strike zone.
And the Crusaders already have action going in their bullpen. From my angle, can't really see who's throwing. Hasn't been a good first inning for the righty Maroda.
And Maroda looking for the sign. Newsman steps out. The 2-1 pitch. Taken for a strike.
That was the best pitch we've seen from Maroda so far. 86 miles an hour down at the knees. It's really important that he's able to locate that fastball.
Chopped over the mound and through. So really might have had a chance at it. Just out of his reach. That's going to plate 2 runs. It'll be first and second. And 3-0.
That wasn't necessarily a bad pitch from Maroda. Might have gotten a little too much of the plate. It was down in the zone. Newsman smacked it on the ground. If that ball is a couple feet to the left or right, that's a double play ball out of the inning. Instead, it's in the perfect position where neither Cirilli nor sides are able to get to it.
And coming home on the play were Good and Low. Cameron moves up to second. Pitching coach out to talk to Maroda. Only 1 away. Dutton, number 27. 0 for 2 in the early game today. Struck out once. The 0-1 swung on, and that's going to be a base hit to right field. Cameron came around third hard, and Coach Anderson put up the stop sign. Cameron slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, for a second I thought Cameron was going to blow through that stop sign. Wasn't until the last second that Coach Anderson decided to hold Cameron. Would have been a close play at the plate. With 2 outs, you probably give it a shot. With 1 out, they're going to hold. And Christian Rice up to bat. Christian, first start of the regionals at third base.
Donnie Forgas and here's a wild pitch. Cameron just beats the tag. Great recovery. The ball really came back well for Carbonara, the catcher, and he got it back to Marotta. But Cameron just under the tag.
Strange play there. I think pitcher and catcher got crossed up. Looks like Carbonaro was expecting an off-speed pitch. I think he got a fastball, went straight back, had a shot at him. Carbonaro ended up at an awkward angle, had to almost backhand the ball.
The 1-0 pitch, lined to the shortstop. He'll take the easy out at first. Sides makes that play. And Rice is retired for the second out. But he'll get an RBI as Newsman comes home on the play. Dutton holds at second.
Sides thought about coming home. He was in normal positioning, playing deep. Made the right decision to take the out at first.
And this Shenandoah offense has been somewhat dormant thus far. And exploding here for 5 runs in the first inning against Marotta and the Crusaders.
Been a combination of pitches that are left up in the zone, out over the plate, and also been some tough luck for Marotta.
Robert Marcel, the shortstop, the 9th hitter of the inning.
Marotta's got to bear down and make a pitch, get his team out of this inning.
The 1-1. Taken wide.
Wouldn't be surprised if this is Marotta's last batter if he cannot get Marcel. Leadoff hitter Baker on deck as the Hornets have batted around here in the first.
The pitch just missed 3. I know.
And this is, if you're Marotta, this is the guy you want. You don't want to go back to the top of the order with two runners on, and if he doesn't throw a strike here, this might be the last pitch of the night.
Driven into right center field. The right fielder comes in and makes a sliding catch. Nice play by Dubas. That ball could have dropped. Did a nice job making a sliding catch. And that ends the inning, but not before Shenandoah scores 5 runs, takes a 5-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first. Back in a moment. And the leadoff batter for Alvernia is Colin Rieger, back in his normal number 8. He fouls the first pitch away. He's working against number 47, a lefty, Robert Klinchak. Coach, what do you know about Klinchak?
Klinchak, 6.92 ERA on the season, 2-1 record. This is his 9th appearance and his 6th start, 26 innings on the year, 38 hits. Opponents are hitting .339 against him, 15 strikeouts to 14 walks. So Alvernia has certainly dug themselves a hole, but with their offense not over yet.
1-2 pitch. Rieger hits it high in the air. The second baseman Baker calls for it in short right field. And the first batter is retired.
That's a big out there, as big of an out as you can have for the first out of a game. Klinchak was in that dugout an awful long time in that top of the first inning. And this is a shutdown inning if there ever was one in this regional. After his team put up a 5 spot, they have all the momentum. If he can have a 1-2-3 inning and get his offense back in the dugout, you might see some more runs for the Hornets.
Mike Cirilli, the next batter up for Alvernia. Strike 1 to him. And the pitch from the lefty comes in and fouled away by Cirilli.
I would be really surprised if 5 runs is enough to win this ball game.
Pitch from Klinchak. Ball 1. Really takes a few cuts before stepping back into the box. And Klinchak fouled away. One and two the count. And fouled back by Cirilli. Swung on, a hard grounder out to short. Marcel up with it. And across for the 6-3 put out. Brings up Nathan Sides, the shortstop. Sides with a huge game against Elizabethtown. Goes 3 for 5 in the contest. Scored once and drove in 3.
You know, it's really impressive and something that the best teams do, but Cirilli coming back into the dugout instead of hanging his head and being upset with himself about not getting on base. As he goes past Sides and Coons, the 3 and 4 hitters for Alvernia, he's telling them what exactly he saw with Klinchak and what they can expect, whether that's something in his delivery or a way a certain pitch of his is moving.
Taken for a strike, 0-2 on Sides.
Really impressive communication, and that's something that the best teams do.
Taken low for ball 1. Driven on the ground over to third. High throw. The throw from Rice is pulled down by Newsman. Coach, you talked about the importance of a 1-2-3 inning after scoring 5 in the top half. Klinchak gets just that. We'll head to the top of the second inning, and we'll be back after this.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school. I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
And we'll come back now for the top of the second inning. Alvernia trailing Shenandoah 5-0, and after that 5-run first inning, Alvernia's made a pitching change. Number 1, Mike Zimmerman, a freshman from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. Coach, what have you got on Zimmerman?
Yeah, I don't have much for you on Zimmerman. This is only his second appearance of the season. Hard to believe that his second appearance comes in such an important game, in such an important situation. He only pitched 1 inning on the year, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 runs. Looks like both of them were unearned.
Well, and as we get deeper and deeper into this regional, and especially with having to declare your playoff roster, maybe not dressing every kid that you've had during the regular season, you have to make choices about who's on and who's off and whatnot, and sometimes you're left with some guys that you were hoping maybe not to have to throw or to put up for a pinch hitter or what have you. And I think this might be one of those cases. Obviously, Crusaders weren't planning on being behind 5-0 with Marotta going. Shenandoah with the great top half of the inning, and they got to make a move.
Yeah, and you know what many teams do, and Alvernia is no different. They play inter-squad games in practice, might have a B squad or JV schedule where even though Zimmerman has only pitched 1 inning this year, I'm sure he's pitched live at-bats during inter-squad, during B squad or JV games, but that's no substitute for being in a NCAA regional here in an elimination game. So couldn't have asked for a better start. Striking out the first hitter he sees.
The leadoff man, Baker. Baker doubled the lead off the game, so a great first batter for Zimmerman, the freshman.
Awful lot of sliders from Zimmerman. Not necessarily all that hard in velo, about 69, 70 miles an hour, but a lot of movement. Uncomfortable arm slot for the hitter. I can see the appeal from this righty.
Abel Arocho behind in the count, 0-2.
I think as we move through this game, you'll see that righties might tend to struggle with that pitch a little more so than lefties. Righties, the way Zimmerman throws, it's almost like that ball starts on their front hip, that slider. With lefties, it's not as uncomfortable in at bat because that slider's coming into their barrel.
And the 1-2 pitch. He rips a line drive, foul down the right field line. Pitch way low and outside, gets away. Runs the count to 2-2. Pitch from Zimmerman. Misses. 3-2 the count. Line drive ripped through the right side. That'll be the second hit of the evening for Arocho.
He seems locked in at the plate right now, hitting balls hard every time. Up. Really important to have guys that can get on base in front of this middle of the order.
And now Nick Good comes up, the third hitter in the order. Center fielder hitting .344. 15 doubles, 34 RBIs. He's hit by a pitch. That'll put runners on first and second.
Yeah, one of the problems you can run into if you're Alvernia with such a young pitcher, inexperienced pitcher on the mound, is not the fact that he may or may not lack talent, because the fact that he's in this situation shows that he has talent, but it's how is he going to face when he hits adversity, because it's something that he hasn't been through before. And until you've been through it, again, it's not something you can simulate in practice or an inter-squad game.
And he'll face now Lowe. Number 54, the designated hitter. Getting cleanup once again this evening. 362 on the year, 12 doubles, 4 triples, 10 homers, and 57 runs batted in. Zimmerman delivers. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, he's going to have to come to Lowe at some point now behind 2-0. I'd expect Lowe to be sitting on one pitch, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't hit this ball hard somewhere.
Swing and a miss by Lowe. Something off speed, 76 miles an hour.
Great pitch. I think everybody in the building, including Lowe, is expecting a 2-0 fastball with runners on first and second with one out. Gets a breaking ball. Starts off at the knees, breaks into the dirt. Great job by Zimmerman.
66 mile an hour breaking ball. Again, gets Lowe out in front. Lowe with 2 hits in the first game today. Looking for more this time around. He already singled in the first. Low and away. Runs the count full. 3-2. Arocho on second. Good on first. Pitch. Gets him again on the off-speed pitch. Lowe goes down swinging for the second out. 2 strikeouts now for Zimmerman in the inning. Brings up the catcher, Cameron. Cameron hit by a pitch back in the first inning by Marotta. First pitch taken for a strike. Marotta Shenandoah with the 0-1 pitch. Steps off the rubber.
And Cameron got hit by the pitch in his first at-bat. That's his 9th on the year. And you can see why he is right on top of that plate.
The pitch. And he's 2 for 2 in terms of getting hit by a pitch. Officially, he's 0 for 0 at the plate. But has reached base twice.
Yeah, you can see on that first pitch was that slider again. Was called a strike, started at the front hip of Cameron. You could see him start to turn into the pitch, almost like he was wanting it to hit him. That ball moved over to the inside corner for a strike. The second pitch didn't break as much, so when Cameron turned in, it was able to hit him, and he's awarded first base.
That brings up Newsman, who takes strike 1 with the bases loaded here and 2 outs. The Hornets looking for more after scoring 5 in the first. Bases loaded for Newsman, who hits .439 on the year. Pitch from Zimmerman, hit back up the middle, sides. Takes it to second himself. And that gets out of the inning. Shenandoah loads the bases. It doesn't bring in any more runs. They'll hold their 5-0 lead as we head to Alvernia's half of the second after this. Cameron Coons leads things off for Alvernia here in the bottom half of the second inning. Earlier today, Coons went 1 for 3, scored twice, and walked. He takes strike 1.
Another long top of the second inning that Clinchock had to sit through.
Misses with that one upstairs, evens the count. Coons, a .378 hitter on the year. 11 doubles, 4 triples, 5 home runs, 50 RBIs. He's battled some injuries over the course of the season. So he hits that one high in the air, drifting back towards the bullpen and out of play. Coons actually did not play yesterday in Alvernia's game against Johns Hopkins. In the previous day against RIT, he came out during the game. Got a day of rest, and he's good as new. Clinchock's pitch down low.
Also looks like that shoulder or left arm of Coons is really wrapped up with some sort of brace or tape.
Hits one hard line drive to right at Rice at third. He'll be retired for the first out of the inning, 1 up and 1 down. That brings up 15, Matt Briner. Briner, the first baseman, was 2 for 6 and scored 3 times and drove in 1 for the Crusaders earlier today. First pitch is a ball. Clinchock gets this one over for strike 1.
We mentioned this in game 1 today, but Briner, one of the more successful hitters for the Crusaders this year, hitting .384.
Another line drive to the left side. This one picked off by the shortstop Marcel.
But Briner only has 3 extra base hits on the year in 138 bats. Very rare for someone to be hitting that high of an average in that many at-bats with so few extra base hits, especially with somebody with the size of Briner.
That gives way to Ben Dubas after the second out here.
And Dubas certainly doesn't have trouble with power. 8 home runs on the year, 46 RBIs, 3 triples, 10 doubles.
He hits the first pitch high and foul down the right side. I think a possible reason maybe for Briner bat ahead of Dubas could be he's got a lot better bat control. You got a lot of strikeouts from Coons in front of him, a lot of strikeouts from Dubas behind him. Coaching staff might not want a couple of guys who are strikeout prone, all batting consecutively.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's nice to have a guy like Briner with such a high batting average, contact guy, line drive hitter, behind 2 really good hitters in Sides and Coons. You know there are going to be runners on base in those situations. A lot of times with runners on third base with less than 2 outs, when really, as you're alluding to, Jeff, the last thing you want is a strikeout. You really want someone in that situation that can put the ball in play, hit the ball hard. That's why a lot of times you'll see teams have a player fluctuate between maybe the 2 and the 5 hole, because similar type hitters you're looking for in those spots.
Count now is 1-2 on Dubas. Pitch from Clinchock. Blown away, ball 2.
Briner would also make an excellent leadoff hitter, too. Now, he doesn't have the prototypical speed you would want in that spot, but with his batting average, with the way he hits the ball all over the place, that guy can hit anywhere in the lineup.
Clinchock's pitch. Fouled back. If we'd have reached out, we might have got that one on the hop, Coach.
We probably would have booted it.
I know I would have. But I think you're right, Coach, about Briner. Briner, very versatile bat. Allows Alvernia to do a lot of different things with their lineup if their coaching staff deems necessary. Another foul ball from Dubas. 2-2 the count.
Sides is also that type of player. Nathan Sides, the number 3 hitter, hitting .434. He can hit anywhere in the lineup. 1, 2, 3. MAC Commonwealth Conference Player of the Year.
Ground ball out to second. Baker to first. 3 up, 3 down again for Clinchock. As we head to the top of the third. 5-0 Shenandoah. Back after this. Shenandoah. First pitch swinging by number 27, Dutton. But he hits it to straightaway center. And that's put away by Rieger. One away. Dutton saw a pitch he liked and put a swing on it, but just went straight away to Rieger, who had to barely move to put that one away.
Story of this game thus far has been Shenandoah's bats waking up finally. Only scoring 4 runs in the last 2 games, including being shut out last night for the first time this season.
Definitely, Coach. The Hornets entered this tournament with some of the gaudiest offensive numbers of any of the 8 teams, and they've done enough to win, but they hadn't really had a breakout game. That 5-run inning, getting them a comfortable lead thus far. They'll be looking for more, as Rice, with 1 out, has worked a 3-0 count. The third baseman playing in place of Forgus. Forgus getting the night off. And Simmerman issues ball 4. Simmerman, the second pitcher used tonight by the Crusaders, as Marotta gave up those 5 first-inning runs. He was replaced in the second by Simmerman.
And then the other story in this ball game over the first 2+ innings has been the lefty Clinchock for Shenandoah. Comes in with almost an ERA of 7 and has been nothing but dominant.
Snap throw down to first. And Rice is back in safely. Simmerman. The pitch to Marcel. Swung on and missed. Oh, and 2 the count. The 2-strike pitch. Swung on and grounded to the pitcher. 1-6. That's all they'll get. Marcel safe at first on the relay.
Nice play by Simmerman. He had to move off the mound. Ball wasn't hit hard, but to his left, a lot of pitchers would just take the safe out at first. He was able to make an athletic play, get the lead runner at second. Sides unable to complete the double play. The speedy Marcel beat out the back end.
And speaking of speedy, Marcel goes. There won't even be a throw. That pitcher's low and outside in the dirt.
We talked about Simmerman, sorry, Jeff. We talked about Simmerman being only in his second appearance of the season, and holding runners is another thing that at this level the speed of the game really picks up, and pitchers have to hold runners. More bases are stolen on the pitcher than the catcher. Pitchers need to be quick to the plate, change their looks up, throw over to first multiple times. The freshman Simmerman in his 3rd inning of the year hasn't done that to this point.
3rd stolen base of the year for Marcel. So exactly, Coach. Marcel not even a great base stealing threat. Was able to pick his spot there against fairly green freshman here in a big game.
Yeah, the thought process there is Simmerman's so focused on what pitch he's throwing, the batter, what the catcher's calling, what coach said to me in between innings, that you kind of forget the situation and the finer details. And being able to hold runners is something that veteran pitchers learn over the course of being able to do that.
And the 2-1 pitch to Baker. Misses Baker. The second baseman, 1 for 2, led off the game with a double to start that 5-run first, and then struck out to start the second. The 3-1 from Simmerman. Strike 2. 2 down. Marcel, the runner on second. Full count to Baker.
want to go after Baker here. You won't want to mess with the left-handed or Rocho.
That pitch yanked foul and high, deep over all the seats in foul territory.
You can see the allure with Zimmerman. He's able to locate that slider, has a lot of movement, not thrown all that hard, but it really starts at the front hip of that right-handed batter. Looks like for about a third of the way to the plate that it might actually hit the hitter and curves in to catch part of the inside corner of the plate. The Alvernia catcher and middle infielders are getting together with Zimmerman, talking about changing up their signs. I think they're concerned that Marcel might be signaling in to Baker the pitches, and that belief comes from Baker's great swing on that 3-2 pitch from Zimmerman.
And we'll see what happens on the next 3-2 pitch. Zimmerman gets the sign, and Baker will wait. Zimmerman steps off.
Runners at second base for certain teams will signal to the hitter if they can figure out what the pitch sequence is from the catcher. You know, 1 fist might be fastball, 2 fists might be off-speed pitch. If there's both hands are open, might be nothing.
Baker lines that one inside. Climbs the ladder, pulls it down. 3 outs. Shenandoah threatens again, but comes up empty against Zimmerman. They still lead 5-0. We're back after this. Esposito again leading off here in the bottom half of the third. Crusaders trailing 5-0. First pitch from Klinchak. Swung on and missed.
And there's still plenty of time left in this ball game. Zimmerman, the freshman, has been able to put up 2 zeros for the Crusaders, but they're going to have to get something started offensively soon.
And Esposito hits that one hard at Rice. Rice takes it off the chest, recovers and throws over for the out. Hard hit ball right at him, but still a nice play by Rice. He kind of wore that one.
Good job by Rice. Good positioning, being in front of that baseball in case it kicks up as it did there. You're able to knock it down with your chest and corral it. Again, that's why they call it the hot corner. Plays like that, you have time after it hits off your chest to stick with it, make a strong throw across the diamond.
Esposito continues to make good contact. He was 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in when Alvernia eliminated Elizabethtown earlier today. And the batter who steps in now is Carbonara. And Carbonara hits it's going to be a long single. The catcher, the backup catcher comes in and hits the first pitch. He sees a rocket into left field, and it hits off the arch nemesis.
Yeah, so a lot happening on that play. That ball was rocketed off the left field fence. Dutton fields it off the fence, throws it into second base, and that keeps Carbonera from advancing to second, keeps it to a single. Carbonera was expecting a double off the bat, so he takes a wide turn around first. Shenandoah tries to throw behind him, and they throw it into the seats, which gives the catcher Carbonera 2 bases, so Carbonera will be at third base with 1 out. Big mistake by the Hornets. Alvernia didn't have much life offensively. Now all of a sudden they got a runner at third with less than 2 outs for Dylan Dunn.
And Carbonera goes up there swinging. Feel like we haven't had much of a chance to talk about him. Steven Carbonera, freshman right-handed hitter out of New Jersey. Pitch from Clinchock to Dunn, fouled away. On the year, Carbonera just 20 at-bats. Actually only had 1 hit coming into the night, Coach. And that one by Dunn, fielded by the first baseman,
Wow.
Newsman. He goes home and cuts down Carbonera at home plate. 3-2 on the putout. Nice play there by Newsman with the awareness to go home.
Yeah, up 5 runs. It would have been easy for the Hornets to, cut their losses, and for Newsman just to step on the bag at first, concede a run for that out. But Newsman makes a strong throw to Cameron at the plate. Tough for Alvernia. You want to be able to pick up a run there on a ground out, but now you don't have a runner in scoring position anymore. Would have been better served to hold there and give the leadoff hitter Rieger a chance with 2 outs. Unfortunately, Dunn got fooled with a check swing. At that point, you have to cut your losses, kind of dig yourself a deeper hole by then making a base running mistake as well. And it might not have been the catcher's fault. He might have been told to go on contact, and that's a risk you run with a contact
Ball gets
play.
away from Cameron. Cameron's throw down to second. Not in time. Sorry to interrupt there, Coach.
No, that's fine. And sometimes runners at third will be told, hey, we're going to go on contact on the ground. There's certain situations where that might happen. Or, if the ball's hit hard at a certain infielder, we're going to stay. That ball wasn't hit hard, so I can see why Carbonera started to run. I don't think he went right away, and he was dead at the plate. So pretty crazy sequence there.
Definitely, and I agree. I don't think Carbonera was going on contact or anything like that. I think there was a little bit of a hesitation there, and that probably in the end cost them.
Yeah, if he's going right on contact, I actually think at that point Newsman decides to just step on the bag at first. Part of the reason Newsman decided to go home was that the Hornets and their coaching staff saw the late break from the catcher Carbonera and realized that an average throw has that runner out at the plate.
You would also assume Carbonera, a catcher, probably not a good runner. He's only a freshman, hasn't played much as a backup, so we're not 100% sure on that one. But Rieger hits one hard through the left side, and they'll send the runner home, and Dunn is in under the tag. Rieger takes second on the throw. Alvernia is on the board here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. After a single by Rieger, drives in a run.
Big hit by Rieger there, picking his teammates up. Big 2-out hit. And then not only that, but on the throw home from the left fielder Dutton, he's able to advance to second on the throw. And the Crusaders have another runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Cirilli takes a pitch from Clinchock. Clinchock, excellent in the first 2 innings. Alvernia getting a little something going here in the 3rd. Getting on the board, cutting the lead to 4. It's now 5-1 Shenandoah. That pitch looped foul into the stands, bounces off the dugout.
And we don't have it on the scoreboard here yet, but should be an error for Shenandoah. And I'm referring to the scoreboard at the stadium on that throwing error that allowed Carbonera to move up from first to third.
Certainly, Coach, I feel like They'll get that squared away between innings. They go with an old manual scoreboard out here, and that one is hit high in the air but foul by Cirilli. Put a drive on that one, but pulled it a little bit too much. Coach, going back to that manual scoreboard, those things, if you're a baseball fan, those are always cool to see in a stadium, especially in a big wall like the Arch Nemesis or the Green Monster or any of the other iterations of those kinds of walls. But the downside is it's located extremely far away from the press box. So sometimes some of those minor scoring things, there's a little bit of a delay in the relay and stuff like that, and I'm sure they'll get that one up there. But great scoreboard out there, manual scoreboard, old-timey. Mike Cirilli now with a line drive into the right center, in the left center field, and that'll score a run. Rieger comes home. 2 runs now with 2 outs here in the third. Crusaders pull within 3.
We mentioned earlier in this regional how important 2-out hitting was, especially with runners on base and in scoring position. 2-out RBIs, clutch RBIs, so important. Clinchock had an opportunity to get out of this inning with no damage at all, and this game could be 5-0 going to the top of the 4th. Instead, it's 5-2. Nathan Size is at the plate, always dangerous hitter, and the Crusaders are right back in this ball game.
And talking about base running, good base running to take second on the throw earlier in the inning by Rieger. That allowed him to get around on this single by Cirilli.
Yeah, on that base hit there by Cirilli, the center fielder, Good, decided not to throw the ball to the plate. If he throws the ball to the plate, Cirilli will move up to second base, and then you have the situation we just had when Dutton threw the ball to the plate the previous at-bat and allowed Rieger to advance to second. Rieger wouldn't have scored that second run had he been on first base for a Cirilli single. So really important for young outfielders to know that you have to hit your cutoff men to keep those backside runners where they are.
Pitch to side, swung on and missed. 2 breaking balls in a row and 2 swings and misses. The Clinchock here against the dangerous number 3 hitter for Alvernia as Clinchock tries to escape this inning with a 3-run lead. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and driven into the outfield, but Good races over, settles under it and puts it away. A hard hit ball by Sides, but that hung up. The Crusaders get 2. It's now 5-2 Shenandoah as we head to the top of the 4th. Back in a moment.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Abel Orocho will lead off here in the top of the 4th inning for the Hornets. The right fielder is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Both hard hit balls to right field.
And Arocho's been one of the best hitters for the Hornets today and throughout this regional.
For the year, a .346 hitter. And he hits one on the ground over to second base, so really up and over to first for the out. One down. That brings on Good. Nick Good. 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first and later scored.
Jeff wouldn't be surprised if we see a bunt for a base hit attempt here.
And exactly right, Coach. Fouls it off. Noted before, Good, an excellent bunter. He's not a good bunter, he's an excellent bunter.
Yeah, and Dunn was playing deep there. Again, the normal line of thought is, hey, the number 3 hitter probably not going to bump for a hit.
Hits one high in the air to center field. Charging in is Rieger. And he gets there in time to make the play. 2 away.
How about Zimmerman? I mean, certainly hasn't gotten out of the 4th inning yet, but for a freshman in his second game of both the season and his career, he's thrown 2 2/3 shutout innings against number 10 team in the country.
Definitely, Coach, and I know we talked when he came into the game. You mentioned how would he handle adversity. When he was untested, only 1 inning. That's something the coaching staff will be wondering when they put him in the game. And he's had guys on base in each of the first 2 innings. Had 6 guys come to the plate the first inning he pitched and got out of it without any runs. So he's dealt so far pretty well with adversity. Maybe a little bit of nerves when he first came in, but settled down, and since then he's kind of cruised.
And I think that'll make his confidence grow even more exponentially. You know, he's proven himself that, hey, he can get outs at this level.
Jake Lowe hits one high in the air to left field. Esposito away. And we're
Big
talking about
shutdown
Zimmerman
inning.
settling down. He gets one of the most dangerous hitters definitely in the region, if not the whole country, to harmlessly fly out there the opposite way. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for the freshman. We'll head now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Shenandoah leading 5-2. Back in a minute. Coons will lead off things here in the 4th inning for Alvernia. Coons hit one hard at the third baseman Rice, lined out in the 2nd inning to lead things off, the cleanup hitter. 1-0 from Clinchock. Low and inside. 2-0. Another pitch low. 3-0. Good strike 1. Pitch away. But it finds enough of the zone. 3-1 the count. Pitch from Clinchock. Coons chops it foul down the third baseline.
Of course, the winner of tonight's game will face Johns Hopkins tomorrow. I believe at a noon start, and the winner of that game will go into the championship round to face Wheaton.
And Coons aboard with a leadoff walk.
If you're just joining us again, this is an elimination game. Only 4 teams remaining in this Mid-Atlantic Regional. Good at bat by Coons to draw the leadoff walk for the talented lefty Briner.
And as Coach said, 4 teams alive right now. The only 2 guaranteed to be alive in the morning are Wheaton and Johns Hopkins. Wheaton, the 3 seed, the only undefeated team left in the field. Wheaton has knocked off Johns Hopkins earlier today, Shenandoah. And on the first day, they took out the 6th seed,
Elizabethtown.
Elizabethtown.
Yeah. Very impressed with Wheaton so far in this regional. They pitch well. They have depth. They play good defense. They bunt. They run. Just very well-coached, talented team that has outperformed our expectations coming into the weekend.
That pitch low in the dirt to Briner.
That's a big pitch there. Sorry, Jeff. Big pitch. 1-1. That's the difference between going 2-1 and 1-2, which is enormous. Briner unable to lay off that off-speed pitch in the dirt.
And a swing by Briner, slowly hitting the hole. The shortstop, Marcel, but no chance to get him, but the throw bounces away now from Newsman. And that's going to allow Coons to get to third. Newsman took a step forward, sort of trying to defend against the throw getting away because he knew there was no chance to get the runner. But the hop kind of came up a little awkwardly and bounced away. I bet that will be ruled a single and an advance to third on an error.
And Shenandoah going with a new third baseman. Forgas, who's been starting this tournament, struggled a little bit. He does have good range. It's one of the things he's done well. Rice has 2 quality at-bats today, but maybe doesn't have the range that Forgas has. As soon as that ball got past the third baseman and the shortstop had to field it, he had no shot at getting the runner.
And Dubas now. 1-1 count after a swing and miss. He has runners on the corners.
This is a guy I would not want up as representing the tying run with the kind of power he has. Also, definitely capable of striking out as well, but, very talented hitter. Great pitch.
Strike on Dubas called. That makes it 1-2 now.
Fastball down in the zone. Not much Dubas could do with that pitch, even if he swings at it. Better off just taking it and hoping he can extend the bat here.
Klinchak not overpowering with the fastball, but tries to locate it where he wants in the zone.
And we do have action in the Shenandoah bullpen. Looks like a right-hander. Can't get a read on what number that is.
Check swing. He did not go. They appeal down to third base. Third base umpire Luke Hammermeyer says no, he did not go.
Of course, one of the benefits to the NCAA regionals is we do have 4 umpires. In a regular season game with only 2 umpires, that's tough for that first base umpire to be able to read a check swing from a lefty.
Klinchak's pitch in the dirt bounces away from Cameron. No movement from Coons at third, but Briner moves ahead to second. Now second and third with no one out for Dubas. Down is 3-2.
Interesting spot for McClintock. Does he go after Dubas, the lefty? He does have first base open. You are playing with a 3-run lead. The talented righty Esposito has been hot recently, is on deck. So the pitch call here, the pitch sequence, does McClintock decide to go with a fastball and challenge Dubas Or does he try to get Dubas to chase an off-speed pitch out of the zone? Looks like they're not even sure how they want to approach this pitch. This is a big pitch in this ball game.
Clean chalk from the stretch. Tries to get one outside, but Dubas lines it. Arocho comes up throwing. Great play. It's going to end up being a sacrifice fly. The runner advancing to third on the play as well. Coons will score. Briner over to third. Great play by Arocha to take away a base hit. Alvernia still pulls a run closer, however.
I didn't think that ball was going to be caught off the bat. Dubas goes down and gets a pitch. Might have been ball 4. Too close to take in that situation. The last thing you want is strike 3. Goes down and gets it. Think it's going to drop in. Great base running by Briner to get back to second base and tag up to third on that. He froze. Most runners at second base think that ball's getting down and will be off and running towards third. He goes back to second, is able to tag up. Not only does Dubas drive in the run from third, but he also moves that runner up from second to third. And it looks like McClintock's night's going to be done, as Coach Anderson is bringing in a right-handed pitcher to face the right-handed Esposito with a runner on third base and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
So for Klinchak, he gave up 4 hits and a walk. Did not strike out a batter. Charged with 3 runs so far. The runner on third, Briner, will be Klinchak's responsibility. And it's number 38, Steve Jones. We've seen Jones once already in this regional. A senior right-handed pitcher from Monrovia, Maryland.
Yeah, Jones, not the greatest numbers on the season, but earlier in this regional and now coming in, asked to pitch in pretty big spots. Talk about the opposite from Alvernia's relief arm, Zimmerman. The Hornets are going with the veteran right-hander, Jones. Been around the block. Situation's not too big for him. He does have an ERA on the season of 8.35, 2 wins, 1 loss. This will be his 13th appearance.
And the first batter he will face will be Esposito. And Esposito hot in the first game, 3 for 4. Hit one very hard at the third baseman, Rice. Made a nice play to keep it in front of him and get it over to first for the out. So Esposito is 0 for 1 this evening. Takes strike 1 from Cook, from Jones. That pitch, great play by Cameron, the catcher, preventing it from getting away. One. The pitch. Ball 2.
Jones will be hunting for a strikeout here. The middle infield for the Hornets is playing back, conceding a run. Second baseman Baker is a little bit up, so curious to see what he would do if the ball's hit hard at him.
Swinging a grounder to third. Rice keeps it in front of him, spins and throws. Newsman keeps the bag. Good play by Newsman to not let that foot come off the bag. They'll trade an out for a run. And there's 2 away.
And Rice wanted to go home. Pulled his head up before he fielded the ball. That's the second time this evening that Rice hasn't been able to cleanly field the ball. As soon as he bobbled it, was unable to get the runner, Briner, at the plate. Good job by Rice sticking with it and getting the out at first. Could have been a lot worse if he wasn't able to stick with the ball and get that out. So sure, he would have rather preferred to get the out at home plate because it was there, and if he fields the ball cleanly, makes a decent throw. Breiner's at the plate, but at least he was able to get an out, and it didn't turn into a disaster here in the bottom of the fourth.
And Carbonera, the batter now. Remember, he ripped a long single off the arch nemesis, a wall in left field. And on an overthrow was awarded second and third. They tried to throw behind him. The throw sailed away.
And good job by Jones getting that ground ball he wanted. Fortunately, Hornets unable to get the lead runner at the plate.
Carbonera trots down to first with the walk. Dylan Dunn steps in. Dunn has scored a run after reaching on a fielder's choice. 5-4 the score right now, a 5 spot for Shenandoah in the first, and 2 runs apiece in the third and the fourth for the Crusaders. And the fourth inning is still in progress with 1 on and 2 outs. Jones, first pitch, swung on and hacked foul.
Great job by the Crusaders clawing their way back into this game. Looked for a second like this game might get away from them.
Dunn hits one out to shortstop, 6-4. Marcel to Baker for the putout. And that'll end the inning. Not before Shenandoah or Alvernia gets 2 more. 5-4 as we head to the top of the 5th.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
Dan Cameron will lead it off here in the top of the 5th inning for Shenandoah. And he'll swing at the first pitch high in the air to left field. And the left fielder Esposito puts it away. Cameron had been hit by a pitch in each of his first 2 at-bats. Swings at the first pitch he sees to ensure that doesn't happen again. Newsman steps in. Singled in the first and drove in 2. Later scored.
And how about Zimmerman? His performance has been outstanding in the first 3+ innings.
2 strikeouts, a walk, and 1 hit allowed. by Zimmerman, but that's all the damage since he entered in the second inning. Now into his fourth inning of work. Ahead 0-2 on Newsman. Last pitch away. Moves to 1-2. Swung on and a soft line drive through the middle for Newsman. His second hit of the evening. That brings up Dutton, the left fielder. Flew out to center field to start the third inning. Throw over to first.
An important inning here for the Shenandoah.
Zimmerman deals, and it's a strike.
Started off the game by metaphorically punching Alvernia in the face, and then not able to deliver the knockout blow. Alvernia hanging around, scoring 2 runs, clawing away, has gained some of the momentum back, and important to see if Shenandoah can answer. It'd be really big if they could put up at least 1 run, get something going here off the freshman Zimmerman.
The pitch, taken for a ball, 1-1. You're definitely right, Coach. We were talking about how maybe that first inning was going to be the beginning of what this Shenandoah offense has been at times this season. Just a very explosive offense for the Hornets. But since Zimmerman's come in the game, they threatened in the second, threatened a little less in the third, and now Zimmerman has kind of cruised through the end of the third and through the fourth inning. And a swing and a miss. The runner goes down to second.
Yeah, and some of you at home might be saying, well, of course Shenandoah's offense isn't performing like it did during the regular season. They're in the NCAA regional and they're facing better teams, but, you know, coming from the ODAC, Shenandoah's faced excellent teams all year long, excellent pitching all year long.
The ODAC, a great baseball conference, getting through the playoffs in that league. Shenandoah not the champion of the ODAC, but playing into the tournament. You're going to face quality pitching night in and night out in that league.
Yeah, just glancing over their schedule, they've played more than 10 games against teams that made it to the regional. Not to mention all the other teams in their conference that are excellent teams in their own right.
Hard grounder out to side. Sides can't field it. Dutton moves on to first. And Newsman over to third.
That's a big turn of events. Runner at first base. 1 out. Wild pitch gets away from the catcher, able to advance to second. Something you don't see very often. And Nathan Sides, error at shortstop. Would have been the second out of the inning with the runner at third. Now it's first and third with 1 out. Christian Rice at the plate. Many different options at the disposal of Coach Anderson. Could see a suicide squeeze, a safety squeeze, could hit and run.
And something you often don't see in a regional, a pitcher who had 1 inning in the regular season against a batter who had 12 at-bats in the regular season.
Yeah. Of course, I didn't think I'd be announcing a regional where we have a relief pitcher making his first ever
start
in the college career and starting multiple games at second base.
1-0 the count on Rice. Zimmerman trying to keep Dutton honest over at first.
Of course, the format and the way that the NCAA works is that many conferences have an automatic bid, an AQ, and the champion of those conferences qualify for the NCAA regional. Then there's several other available spots for at-large bids. So a team, let's say like in Elizabethtown College, who was in the tournament, the regional this weekend, was the 3rd seed in their conference tournament after the regular season, came back and won their conference tournament and got that AQ automatic bid to the regional. So not always the best team that during the regular season makes it to this regional.
And Coach, I don't have all the criteria in front of me, but as you're explaining, we have the automatic qualifiers in the eyes of the NCAA. Those are your Pool A teams, teams that got the automatic bid from your conference. Pool C are your traditional at-large bids. They can be any team that didn't win their league and gets in. And also there's Pool B, which is for teams if you're in a conference, but the conference doesn't have enough teams for an automatic bid. They'll pick several teams from the pool of those schools plus the independents. They comprise Pool B. They'll guarantee based on the number of teams. They do the math every year. It might be 2 one year, 1 the next year, 3 the year after that, depending how many of those teams there are. And once you've divvied up all the Pool A and Pool B bids, whatever's left goes to Pool C, your traditional at-large. And the umpires with the conference, and now we're back 2-2 with Rice.
I think there was a question about what the count was.
That pitch low and away, and it's 3-2.
You might see Dutton take off from first. Nope.
That's a strike.
Oh, well, we did have full count there. The count was actually 3-1. That must have been what the discussion was with the umpires.
Now the count is 3-1, Coach. That was a 3-0 pitch.
Okay. Got it. So, yeah, the scoreboard at one point had the count 2-2 before that pitch. That was a called strike instead of being strike 3 or strike 2. In fact, that was strike 1, and now we have a 3-1 count, so some confusion with the count.
Pitch from Zimmerman, hit through the left side of the infield by Rice. That brings home a run for Shenandoah. Coach, we were talking earlier about it'd be good if they can get an insurance run, maybe get a run off of Zimmerman here, who had been cruising for about an inning and a half after a shaky start. And we get that from the hit from Rice.
Yeah, big run, big hit for Christian Rice. Zimmerman had 1 out, nobody on base. Gives up a hit. And then wild pitch, air on the shortstop sides. Single just out of the reach of Dunn. If that's a foot to the left, that's a double play ball, inning over.
And that run will be, well, we don't know yet, I guess, if it's earned or unearned. It was a single Newsman reached on. There was an error on the play.
Yes, single from Newsman, error on Dutton by the shortstop. And Sides will retire Marcel for the second out. So because of that, that should make that run unearned. Well, no, that run would likely still be earned because of the base hit from Rice. We'll get
wait
that
for
scoring
Wags
too.
to tell us after the inning. Baker. 1 for 3, doubled the lead off the game, struck out and lined out to shortstop.
This inning, we explained how the Pool A, Pool B, Pool C bids work. Next inning, we'll explain earned versus unearned and how that formula works into pitcher statistical lines.
Glad we didn't take this approach to the 15-inning game, Coach. We've been trying to explain astrophysics at some point in the 14th inning, and I can tell you that we would have been relying on you for that. I don't know.
Yeah, where are those Johns Hopkins and RIT student athletes when you need them?
We would have had to pull some of the guys who'd already played for RIT up to the dugout or up to the press box to explain it to us. Two-one the count on Baker. That pitch behind him. Wild pitch. Both runners will move up. Dutton gets to third. Rice up to second.
In the words of the great Harry Doyle, just a bit outside. In fact, that one was inside. Behind the leadoff hitter, Baker.
So far outside was behind him. And Baker will draw the walk to load the bases here with 2 outs. Everything from here on out will be unearned in the inning. I've got that one for you. It was Dutton reaching on the air. I'd marked that in Newsman's at-bat along with the single for some odd reason. Probably because we're on day 3, 4 games a day.
Yeah, I think this is innings 55 of the weekend here.
And Zimmerman legs at the game for Alvernia. He did a solid job in relief, especially for a guy who'd thrown 1 inning all year to be dumped into the middle of a regional. Coaching staff asked him for some big innings. He stemmed the tide until now, but he's about out of gas. Threw 67 pitches. Again, he'd thrown 1 inning all year, so he's probably not that stretched out unless they do have a developmental team, JV team, whatever you want to call it. And if he's been starting games for that, maybe, but he hadn't pitched, certainly at least in a varsity game, more than 1 inning. So 67 pitches from him. Good job out of him. We'll see what Griffin can do now. Michael Griffin, the new pitcher, number 37. Coach, what do you have on Griffin?
Yeah, and Michael Griffin, number 37, making his 10th appearance on the mound, has 2 saves, 3.68 ERA in 14 2/3 innings, 13 strikeouts, 4 walks. Opponents are hitting .309 off of Griffin, the lefty. He'll be in here to face the right fielder, Orocho, a left-handed hitter. Good move by Coach Lutz going with the lefty-lefty matchup in a very important spot here in the top of the 5th. And just wanted to go back to Zimmerman on what an outing that was. We talked in the bottom of the first how, neither of us thought that 5 runs was going to hold up in this game and be enough to win it. To now be 4 innings later, and Shenandoah has only added 1 additional run up to that point. You have to be thrilled if you're the Alvernia coaching staff. You needed a bridge to your bullpen, to your typical bullpen pitchers. Marotta only able to go 1 inning. The question was, okay, how do you get to those back end of the bullpen guys? Because Alvernia does have a talented back end of the bullpen, but when you only have a starter go 1 inning, you need some way to get to that back end, and Zimmerman was that individual. So now he passes the baton to Griffin, who'll try to see Alvernia's way out of this top of the fifth.
And he enters with the bases loaded, left-on-left matchup against Orocho. Zimmerman, 3 2/3. Only 1 run, but the 3 runners on base are responsible to him. 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 6 flyouts, 3 groundouts. Pitch upstairs to Orocho, 2-0. 2 pitches, 2 balls from Griffin.
Big pitch here.
Strike 1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Shenandoah clinging to a 2-run lead. Their number 2 hitter, Orocho, takes a pitch. 3-1. That pitch just missed from Griffin. Pitch. Strike 2. Full count.
Yeah, runners will be moving on this pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rice should be able to score easily from second on a base hit. Baker easily on a ball in the gap.
Here's the pitch, and it misses wide for a bases loaded walk.
That's the second time in the last 3 games that a relief pitcher for Alvernia has come into the game and subsequently walked the leadoff batter with the bases loaded. It's extremely important as a relief pitcher when you come in the game to be throwing strikes. Griffin was brought in to face the left-hander Orocho. He was brought in to get that hitter out of that inning. Didn't throw strikes. Now he has to deal with the right-hander in good, completely different matchup. And with the 25-man roster limit, you can't afford to, in the top of the fifth, bring in a different pitcher for each batter. And again, the reason that move was made was for that matchup. So you have to throw a strike in that situation. If the guy gets a hit, he gets a hit. But giving them a free pass, that's tough.
25 good. Fouls one down the left side. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Griffin gets good swinging. So he walks in 1 run, then strikes out. The dangerous good for the 3rd out to escape the jam. Up before Shenandoah gets some insurance. They now lead 7-4 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Back in a minute. Colin Rieger to lead it off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Alvernia.
Home plate umpire Ron Black and third base umpire Lou Cameronmeyer were speaking with one another. Not sure what they were discussing. Looked like they were looking at the mound. But either way, we're ready to go.
First pitch to Rieger. He chops that over the third baseman. The shortstop, Marcel, will have no play, and it will be an infield single to lead off the 5th for Rieger. Mike Cirilli steps in with a runner on first base. No outs here in the 5th, trailing by 3. Shenandoah leading Alvernia 7-4. The 2nd seeded Hornets against the 5th seeded Crusaders. Pitch from Steve Jones, taken for a strike. Ball 1. Swung on and fouled down the left side. That one got away from Jones for a ball, 2-2. Swung on by Cirilli and hit through the left side for a base hit. Cirilli's 2nd single of the game. Puts runners on first and second. Rieger reached on the single. Back-to-back base hits for the Crusaders to start the inning, and Nathan Sides comes up. He'll face Jones.
Looks like Shenandoah is not sure whether or not to expect a bunt. I'd be looking for a move where the pitcher turns around, tries to see if the batter's squaring around. Nope.
And the bunt from Sides will go foul. Rice will pick it up.
You know, this is a interesting decision. Your number 3 hitter, conference player of the year, Nathan Sides, runners at first and second, nobody out. You're down 3 runs. Yes, it's only the bottom of the 5th. Interesting to be sacrificing in this situation. Not saying it's not the right play. I'm sure you asked 100 different coaches what they do. You might get 50 one, 50 the other.
Sides around again, bunts it down the
that's going to be a hit.
No man's land.
Yeah, an excellent bunt by Nathan Sides. Great job by the Alvernia coaching staff, knowing their personnel well, knowing what they do well. That's exactly what you're looking for when attempting to bunt a runner over to third base. You want to bunt the ball hard down the third baseline. Have to force the third baseman to come get the ball. The pitcher, Jones, has no chance to field that bunt. The third baseman's got to come get it. Once it was bunted, the third baseman retreated back to the bag. Bases loaded, nobody out for Cameron Coons.
Coons, the first pitch, 4-6-3, double play.
got to be disappointed if you're Alvernia. You got to run back. With the bases loaded, nobody out. Shenandoah will take that trade. 1 run for 2 outs there. Coons got jammed on that pitch. Maybe over anxious.
That brings up Reiner. Reiner is 1 for 2, lined out and singled. No RBI for Coons on the double play ball. A run does score. No RBIs awarded when the player hits into a double play.
There are situations that, as a hitter, you are willing to trade those 2 outs for a run. This isn't one of those situations. With it only being the bottom of the 5th, already 12 runs across, going to be a high-scoring game. Every out is precious. You have the bases loaded, nobody out. You'd like to put up a crooked number that inning. Jones can work his way out of this inning with only giving up 1 run.
And there's a walk now to Briner. Making that double play loom even larger as the next batter gets on base. Big play for the Hornets there to get that double play. Dubas steps in. He's 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. Alvernia still trails Shenandoah 7-5. Shenandoah seeded number 2 in the tournament, ranked number 10 in the country. Alvernia the 5 seed. Spent time this year in the national rankings. 1-1 to Dubas.
Bats there. I gotta reconstruct it. Mezzarine or whatever it is.
Pitch from Jones, taken for a strike. Oh, and 2. Up high, ball 1, 1-2. Fouled away. Jones delivers the 1-2, taken for a ball. Runner going. They'll let him take second to not risk the other runner coming home. Griner will steal second to make sure to keep Cirilli at third. Cameron just pumps to second and looks the runner back to third.
Yeah, delayed steal by Briner. The Hornets' first and third defense just give him second base.
On the ground over the first baseman, Newsman. He out races Dubas to the bag, and that's 3 away. The Crusaders add 1, making it 7-5 as we head to the top of the 6th. Back in a moment. Jake Lowe to lead it off here in the 6th inning for Shenandoah. Hornets leading 7-5. Final game of the day here at the Mid-Atlantic Regional, People's Bank Park, York, Pennsylvania. Lowe, the DH, falls behind 0-2. This game is an elimination game. The loser will see their season come to a close, and the winner will live to see another day. Play tomorrow. Both of these teams received at-large bids. Shenandoah out of the ODAC, Alvernia out of the MAC Commonwealth. Lowe fouls that pitch, and it's still 1-2. Lowe taking his time. The foul ball may have hit his foot or ankle. Griffin still in for the Crusaders. And that one hits him. Lowe, a leadoff hit by pitch here in the 6th. He now has a single and a hit by pitch to his credit. On base twice. Cameron now batting. Squares the bunt. Bunts it back to Griffin. Griffin backhands, throws to second. And they'll get the force at second. The sacrifice fails. It's a fielder's choice.
Great play there. Being able to get the lead runner at second.
Brings up Newsman. Ball in the dirt, rolls away from the catcher. Cameron, the catcher himself, moves up. Carbonera couldn't find it.
Yeah, good read by Cameron, taking advantage, and that cancels out the not getting the sacrifice bunt down properly as runner moves into scoring position with 1 out.
Pitch from Griffin, fouled away. Got a piece of Carbonera, the catcher. He's going to get out and take a walk, and here comes coaching staff to check on him.
Just got word that in the Washington and Jefferson Regional actually had a incident where both benches cleared. Not something you see often at the NCAA level. These games very important to these players. Chance of a lifetime being able to play in the NCAA Regional. Sometimes you have incidents that flare tempers.
That pitch
Cameron.
for a ball, a snap throw down to second. They've got him in a rundown. Runner broke for third. Throw down to second. Cameron had to take off for third, and he's gunned down.
That's the second time today we've seen a similar play. The runner at second base into his secondary lead gets caught off the bag too far. I believe both times it was against Alvernia. And catcher able to make a snap throw to second. And then the put out at third. So that'll be caught stealing for Dan Cameron.
2-6-5. Now 1, no one on, 2 outs. I don't know if the sacrifice not getting down has still been canceled out.
Is that where the 3 negatives equal a positive, or?
And the ground ball out to Cirilli. He bobbles it, throws over to first. Still in time to get Newsman. And the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the next half inning back in a moment. Franco Esposito leading off for Alvernia. Crusaders trailing 7-5. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Esposito with a pair of hard grounders down to third. Hit the ball hard both times, but Rice has managed to make the play on both occasions. Strike called. 0-2 the count. That pitch misses for a ball from Cook, from Jones. I don't know why I've called him Cook twice now. Somebody has a pitcher named Cook somewhere in this tournament, or they did. Maybe it was another tournament.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that you called it Cook or the fact that I didn't realize it was wrong.
That one fouled away. At least I think it's only twice I've called him Cook. I've only noticed twice that I've called him Cook. His name is clearly Steve Jones.
2 more times than I noticed, so.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and hit hard. One hopper in left field. Left fielder bobbles it, but no big deal for that one, as Esposito will hold up at first base with a leadoff single. Carbonera now steps in. No outs, runner on first. The Crusaders leadoff man on as they try to close the gap here, trailing 7-5. Carbonera squares to bunt. Foul down the first base line.
It's been interesting to watch. You know, these are 8 of the best teams we have in Division III baseball. Just how detail-oriented these teams are. All weekend, sacrifice bunts being placed in the right spot, bunting a guy to second, wanting that bunt down the first baseline. Things that good teams do well. There's a reason these teams are still alive.
Carbonera pulls the bat back 1-1.
The other thing is, how about the depth? How important team depth is. You know, you look up and down these lineups, you have guys, different guys maybe haven't played that much during the regular season, having opportunities and coming through. You have lineups where you have 7, 8, 9 hitters contributing, you know, when the 2, 3, 4 hitters might be struggling. Baseball truly is a team sport. And these teams still alive have talented players 1 through 25.
Carbonera has fouled another bunt attempt off. It's 1-2. He'll try it again. Fouls that one off. There'll be a strikeout for Jones. Got it right that time. And in steps number 32, Dunn. Low and away in the dirt. Inside 2-0. Dunn squares the bunt, pulls the bat back. It's now 3-0. Strike one, 3-1. Strike two, count goes full. Good job by Jones. Falls behind 3-0, but battles back with 2 strikes.
Think you might see possibility to see Esposito taking off on the pitch. We'll see. Nope.
And strike 3 looking. Goes down looking, back-to-back strikeouts for Jones. Brings up Colin Rieger.
So how about that sequence of events? Esposito singles to lead off the inning. Carbonero can't get the sacrifice bunt down. Strikes out on a foul bunt attempt. Subsequently, Dunn goes to 3-0 in the count. And Jones comes back with 3 straight strikes. Dunn down looking. This inning has completely changed.
Rieger takes a strike, makes the count 1-1.
Jones is painting the outside corner to right-handed hitters. At some point, these right-handed Alvernia hitters should try to start hitting the ball the other way.
That pitch is strike on Rieger, 1-2. Swung on and fouled away. Low and outside, ball 2, 2-2. Count will go full, 3-2.
Esposito will be off on the pitch.
3-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, one on. Alvernia trailing 7-5. Swung on by Rieger and driven foul. Runner off with the pitch. Ball 4. Put runners on first and second.
We've been able to see all 8 teams play several times over the course of the last almost 3 days, and yeah, I think we both probably agree, Jeff, that the best 4 teams are still remaining, the teams with the most depth.
These were the 4 teams that played the most complete games of baseball. Other games not top to bottom, able to put it all together.
Probably the teams, no surprise, with the 4 deepest pitching staffs.
Pitch to Cirilli. Taken for a strike, 0-2.
There's been a couple borderline calls. I don't envy home plate umpire Ron Black. A lot of pitches either at the top of the strike zone or right on the corner. Could go either way. He's starting to hear complaints from both dugouts.
Cirilli chops that one over the pitcher. The second baseman takes it to the bag himself. And Baker steps on second for the 3rd out. No runs for Alvernia in the bottom half of the 6th inning. We'll head to the top of the 7th. 7-5 Shenandoah. Back in a moment.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Neil Dutton will lead off Shenandoah's half of the 7th inning. Michael Griffin remaining in the pitch. Another borderline pitch called a strike. 1-1 to count to Dutton. That's ball 2, curveball from Griffin. Good pitch. Fastball tailing away from the right-handed hitter. Evens the count at 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. Cirilli fields it. Throws the Briner. Holds bag. Out number 1. So Dutton retired. 4-3 ground out. That'll bring up Christian Rice.
Rice 1 for 3. 1 for 2.
Yeah, 1 for 2. 2 RBIs, doubling his season total. Came into the game with only 2 RBIs on the season. In fact, this is only his 3rd start of the year. Normally used as a defensive replacement. And for him to come up with 2 RBIs, matching his total for the year, really come through for the Hornets.
And now it's Marcel, the 9 hitter.
So Griffin has 2 outs on 6 pitches. Looking to get the Crusaders back in the dugout.
Fouled away by Marcel.
Got to give credit to the Alvernia bullpen. They've only given up 2 runs.
5+ innings.
Yeah, 5 2/3.
Hit on the ground by Marcel. Sides, picks it up. Nice throw across.
Make that 6 innings. Make that 6 innings of 2-run ball for the Alvernia bullpen. And that'll take us to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch here. Shenandoah 7, Alvernia 5.
And trailing by 2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nathan Sides to lead it off for Alvernia. Shenandoah with the 2-run lead. Cook. Did it again. Jones still in the game. This looked like somebody I know. Whose name is Cook. Foul ball.
Some scores from other regionals around the country that are currently going on. Birmingham Southern has a 5-1 lead against Wartburg in the Central Regional. In the Midwest Regional, St. Scholastica and Adrian are tied in the bottom of the 6th. In the bottom of the 5th, in the Texas West Regional, an elimination game, Concordia has a 5-2 lead over Rhodes. In the Mid-East Regional, 2 talented teams, Washington, Jefferson, and Keystone, W&J up 3-0 in the top of the 3rd.
1-2 the count on Sides. Steve Jones with the pitch. And this is 2-2.
So the current schedule here in the Mid-Atlantic Regional, tomorrow, the first game of the day will start at noon. The winner of this game will take on Johns Hopkins in an elimination game.
Hard ground ball by Sides down to third. Rice up and over for the putout, 5-3.
Following that game, the winner will take on Wheaton, unbeaten Wheaton, in the championship round. Wheaton would then have to be beaten twice for the team that beat them to win this regional. So Wheaton in a good situation entering the last scheduled day of the regional. The second game would be Monday if needed, at least as currently scheduled.
Pitch from Jones, sails wide, 1-0.
Big inning here from Jones, 3-4-5 for the Crusaders. Starting off with the past two MAC Commonwealth Conference Players of the Year in Sides, and now Coons retired Sides on a ground ball to third.
Pitch to Coons, out wide for a strike. Pitch on the outer edge, but caught enough for a strike. Low and away.
Yeah, again, Ron Black, the home plate umpire. I think he's done a good job back there. There've been some borderline calls that you got to make a decision on, and a strike's a strike, a ball's a ball, and one side's not going to like it. But I think he's been consistent, and some borderline calls, but that's the way it works. So Coons draws a walk, bring up Briner. Briner will represent the tying run.
Okay, Briner stole a base after walking his last appearance. Also is a single to his credit, 1 for 2.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest situations of this game was 2 innings ago. Alvernia had the bases loaded with nobody out for cleanup hitter Cameron Coons. Coons grounded into a double play. 1 run scored, but the Hornets were able to trade 2 outs for a run. And Briner singles through the left side, advancing Coons to second. With Dubas due up, Coach Anderson will come to the mound. Can't see who's throwing in the bullpen. I imagine we might see a lefty here to face the lefty Dubas. Looks like that is the case. We'll get the name and the number.
Jones will depart. To this point, 3 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Pitch around base runners. Ineffective, but he's got runners on base as he departs.
The new pitcher for Shenandoah will be Matt Burns. Burns, another guy that we've seen at least one other time, quite possibly earlier today.
I think we may have.
Yeah, we'll get you that information. Pretty sure Burns threw in the game earlier today against Leslie.
He's
No, that must have been last night's game. We have definitely seen Burns. Burns, one of the key relievers for the Shenandoah team. 2-0 on the year, 3.38 ERA, 13 strikeouts, 21 innings. The lefty will be on to face Dubas. You know what, I believe actually in last night's game, Burns was brought on to face a lefty, and he was lefties were 6 for 36 against him up until that point, hitting below 200. He was able to retire the side and get out of the inning. Big situation here. The tying run on first base.
Burns spins. Scrambles the runner back to second.
Coons at second. Briner at first. Dubas the hitter. One out here in the bottom of the seventh as Alvernia trails 7-5.
Dubas did not go around. Deal down to third base umpire Luke Hammermeyer.
Franco Esposito on deck. Not sure if there's a right-hander warming up in the Hornets bullpen.
It's just next to us up here in the press box. I was ready to use Coach as a human shield if need be.
I was ready to sacrifice myself as that shield if needed.
You would not have been given first base, however.
Yeah, but might have got me out of here before 1 a.m.
Dubas pops one up to shortstop, and Marcel puts it away for the out.
Big out from Burns, and Coach Anderson will, in fact, had a righty warming up in the bullpen for Esposito. He'll go to that right-hander. So Burns, for the second consecutive day, comes in to face one lefty, does the job, and will depart.
Right-hander will come in from the bullpen.
Gotta wonder if that's Tyler Hott. Not sure if it is. Sounds like it is. Heard someone yelling his name just now.
It is Tyler Hott.
Yeah, and Tyler Hott, the right-hander, serves as the closer for the Shenandoah team. Don't think we've seen him yet to this point.
He pitched in one of the previous games for Shenandoah. It may have been
maybe
in the
this,
opener.
yeah, maybe
Maritime. Hott came in for his 10th save of the year.
Okay.
Pitching the 9th inning, gave up a pair of hits, but struck out 2 batters.
So, yeah, Tyler serves as the team's closer. He'll come in here in the bottom of the 7th, and my expectation would be that he would pitch the remaining 2 1/3. Again, at this point in the regional, got to use your best, got to win now before you can worry about tomorrow. Hott hasn't thrown live since Thursday, so throwing the remaining 2 1/3 inning shouldn't be an issue. You know, for Shenandoah, you hope that he does it on as few pitches as possible because you'd like to have your closer available tomorrow should you win tonight. But again, that's something you worry about when you get there. Good move by Coach Anderson going to the right-handed closer. with the dangerous Esposito at the plate.
Esposito singled in his last at bat. Grounded out to third, 2 sharp grounders. 1 for 3. Still 7-5 for Shenandoah, but there's 2 runners on base for Alvernia. Hot, the closer, comes on to get out of the jam. Breaking ball over the plate for strike 1 to Esposito.
Nobody warming up in either bullpen.
Had pitched down in the dirt for a ball.
Actually see some blankets out there this evening. If you would have asked me 2 days ago when it was 95 degrees here that we would see some blankets 2 days later, I wouldn't have believed you.
And swing and miss by Esposito, 1 and 2. That's right, Coach. Blankets, hoods up, heavy coats.
This is more like Division III college baseball. We're used to seeing the blankets and the hoods.
Typically, the 63 is where everybody has shorts and T-shirts on during Division III baseball in the north. So after a couple of very warm days, 63 seems cold outside.
Of course, most of these teams started practicing the end of January, beginning of February. That's over 4 months of physical, mental work.
Strike 3. He gets Esposito looking in hot.
Hot freezes Esposito with the fastball. Great job by the key reliever for the Hornets getting out of a jam. So Burns and Hot, lefty, righty, come in out of the bullpen, do their job.
And we get the only batter they face out.
Yeah, great.
Out of that jam. Be back after this.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
Michael Griffin will work against Tristan Baker here in the top of the 8th inning. Shenandoah, the second seed, leading 5th seeded Alvernia 7-5. Griffin deals a strike on the first pitch. Baker 1 for 3. Fouls that one away, 0-2.
Yeah, it's getting late here. This is beginning to become crunch time for both teams. Shenandoah would love to tack on another insurance run or two. Alvernia has got to keep it where it is. Their offense has been slowed down by this Hornets bullpen. They'll have to score off of one of the best relievers.
Strike 3. Baker goes down looking for the first out. Rocha will follow. Rocha 2 for 3. First pitch from Griffin over that of Rocha, breaking ball, but not away. Pitch from Griffin. This one low and away, ball 2. Carbonero steps in front of the plate to throw that one back, shouting something to Griffin. Pitch this one inside. Rocho ahead, 3-0. That pitch will miss, ball 4. One out base runner as Rocho walks. He's on base for the 4th time tonight, his 2nd walk in addition to the 2 hits. Brings up good.
Might sound like a broken record here, Jeff, but I'd watch out for the base hit bunt attempt from the 3-hitter Good.
Pitch from Griffin, but he throws over to first instead. Another throw over, but this one gets away, and Rocho will run around to second, take a hard turn, and stop.
Thought I heard an umpire signal a balk. Not that it matters either way, as the ball was thrown out of play. So 1 base will be awarded to Rocho. Shenandoah on the year is 8-0 in 1-run games. Currently a 2-run game, but this team is accustomed to being in close games and winning them.
This one driven high in the air. Looping, it'll land in front of the outfielders. Rocha to third, Good on with a single. That ball just seemed to drop suddenly out of the air. Thought one of the 2 outfielders would be able to get there, but all of a sudden the ball just came down hard in front of him.
Good couldn't have placed that ball in a better position. If that's hit anywhere else, as long as that ball was up in the air, that's going to get caught. As it is, that ball drops in. We have Lowe at the plate.
Visit to the mound to talk to Griffin.
And if you're Alvernia, really important that you try to cut off this last run. It's already going to be a difficult challenge to score 2 runs off of the Shenandoah closer Hot. You really going to make it more difficult, having to score 3 to tie, 4 to win. Having to deal with Lowe at the plate, number 54. The big run producer for this Hornet offense. They have the lefty Griffin still on the mound. So we got the lefty-lefty matchup. I think you try to get ahead in the count and then get Lowe to chase out of the strike zone. So there's strike 1. Really important to get strike 1 because now Griffin doesn't have to throw another strike. Might be able to get Lowe to chase out of the strike zone.
Throw over to first.
Not sure why Griffin is concerned with the runner at first. If that runner would take off, you would then put Lowe on to set up the double play. So that wouldn't be the worst case scenario for Alvernia.
Griffin with the count, 1-1. Again going to first. Pitch from Griffin. Off the edge for ball 2.
Yeah, tough to see from the dugouts, and been there. I know when you're sitting off to the side in a dugout, you see that pitch right there at the knees. You don't understand where that's missing, but I can tell you from where we are behind the plate, that ball's outside. Good call by home plate umpire Ron Black.
Fouled away by Lowe.
Griffin really needs to be hunting for a strikeout here. We'll be surprised if we didn't see an off-speed pitch in the dirt, try to get Lowe to chase. You don't have to be concerned at this point with walking Lowe. You do have only 2 runners on base, so I think you're better served to be trying to avoid contact here by going for that strikeout. 2 off-speed pitches. Try to get him to chase. The lefty-lefty matchup. Worst case scenario, Lowe lays off 2 off-speed pitches down in the dirt. He's on first. Now you have the bases loaded. Potential double play candidate and the catcher, Cameron, on deck. Again, not completely sure why Griffin is thrown over.
Yeah, coach not sure why he's doing that. Probably something to disrupt the timing of, in case they think maybe it's going to be a delayed steal.
Yeah.
Runner on second going, have the runner on third break for home on the throw to second. They might be trying to see if they're going on first movement or something. I don't know. And it's a walk.
So Griffin does a great job of getting the 2-2 against the talented Lowe. And then we have 2 pitches that aren't anywhere close to the strike zone. We did see a 2-2 breaking ball, but that pitch was a good 2 feet out of the strike zone. Was never even considered at by Lowe. And then that pitch, the 3-2 pitch, not sure if it was a fastball or a changeup, but it didn't even make it to home plate before bouncing. In that situation, you don't necessarily want to throw a hittable pitch, but it's got to be close enough that Lowe is at least enticed to chase. Those pitches weren't even close enough to get Lowe to even think about swinging. That wasn't the goal of that confrontation between Griffin and Lowe.
And here comes Cameron, the catcher, who hits 5th. First pitch up high.
Would have thought that Alvernia would have had a right-hand hitter ready for this for Cameron. Looks like they're getting somebody up a little bit late.
Swung on and hit high in the air to right field, charging in. Dubas, but he takes a bad angle and the ball falls in. It's going to be a fielder's choice, as that ball appeared that it would be caught, and a quick recovery by Dubas and the throw into second.
And that's a break for the Hornets. That ball probably not deep enough for the runner to tag. Now maybe with that being would have been the second out, maybe you attempt that, but a decent throw from the talented Dubas would have had it at the plate. Because that ball drops, that runner at third is able to score and make it a 3-run game. That's 2 balls hit to the right side of the outfield that you thought were up in the air an awful long time to not be caught. Alvernia was able to recover and throw out low at second base, but that's a very important run that came across the score.
Newsman steps in with a 3-run lead against Griffin. Fouls one back. Another throw over to first. Pitch from Griffin. 1-1 the count. Strike. 1-2.
Approaching 10:30 Eastern time here, New York, Pennsylvania.
Swung on, fouled straight back.
We're still about 2 hours ahead of where we were last night at this time.
That's right.
Last night, Game 4 not finishing up till just before 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Gets Newsman looking. That ends the inning. Shenandoah gets one. It's now 8-5 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Back in a minute.
And we're back here, bottom of the 8th inning. Just got word that the #1 team in the country, the LaGrange Panthers, were eliminated from their NCAA regional today by Salisbury. Salisbury pitcher Jeff Oster with 2 wins today.
Wow.
The second one eliminating the #1 team in the country.
That's huge for the Seagulls. And Schaefer, a pinch hitter, Ian Schaefer. Rips one. Foul down the third baseline just by a couple inches. That would have been big trouble if it stayed inside the line.
Of course, we have two of the top 10 teams in the country in our regional, with number 2 Johns Hopkins and this Shenandoah Hornets team currently ranked number 10 in the country. If Shenandoah is able to hold on to the lead, we'll have the top 3 seeds as the last 3 teams remaining in the regional. Was about to say we'll be going chalk into the last 3, but things haven't gone as planned, as the number 3 seed is actually the only undefeated team in this regional. The 1 seed, Johns Hopkins, fell to Wheaton in the previous game, sending Johns Hopkins to the losers bracket.
The Lions have been very impressive traveling from all the way up in Massachusetts down here to York, PA for this regional. Schaefer takes that pitch up high. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, the NCAA has tried to move some teams around recently. Sent some teams from New England down to the Mid-Atlantic. Sent some teams from the Mid-Atlantic region up to New England. We have some teams from the South region here with us. So gets us some different matchups. And, again, we get to see a Wheaton team that, 5 years ago we don't get to see. And different matchups that normally we don't get to see at the regional, not until the College World Series. So it's exciting for some different teams to play one another, get to see some different baseball from different parts of the country. So got to tip your cap to the NCAA for the adjustment they've made in regards to seeding and placement.
And a foul ball by Schaefer. You definitely coach, though, back to your point. They do that trying to balance out maybe the teams a little bit better, separate teams in the same conference. Arcadia and Alvernia, for example, from the MAC Commonwealth just played each other in a conference championship. Then you send them to the same regional. Schaefer with the pinch hit single through the left side to start things off. Bottom half of the 8th inning.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that, hopefully you're giving the best teams the number 1 seed, and too often in the past the College World Series hadn't been the best teams. It's just been, you might have had 2 of the 3 or 4 best teams in one region, so you're only getting 1 of those teams in the College World Series.
Bunt by Dunn.
Base hit bunt from Dunn. Rice charges.
Not in time. Base hit.
Great bunt by Dylan Dunn. Fantastic. Couldn't have been placed any better if he went out there and dropped it himself. Is able to just beat the play at first. Colin Rieger up. Interesting situation here. Only 6 outs remaining. You're down 3 runs. Do you sacrifice one of those 6 outs to bring not even the tying run in the scoring position? You still have 1 more inning after this to work with.
First pitch to Rieger taken for strike 1.
And earlier in the game, we had a situation where we weren't sure if Alvernia would bunt. They decided to sacrifice. Here, they're not. Again, I think it's the right call. You only have 6 outs to work with. There's no guaranteeing if you get that bunt down that you'll get both those runs in. So trying to play for more than 3 runs. Also, every out is so precious at this point. Count is 0-2 on Rieger.
Swings and hits it high in the air out to center field. Coming in is good to make the catch.
And this wind is really knocking down balls to the outfield. We saw 2 balls in the top of the 8th drop in that are normally caught. We think should have been caught off the bat. And then right there, that ball looked like it was hit to relatively normal, I'd say, straight up center field. And Good had to really charge and chase that ball down, knock down, not too far from the infield. Cirilli at the plate. Represents the tying run for the Crusaders here in the top of the bottom of the eighth. Alvernia, the home team tonight.
Pitch from Hot, a strike. Up high for ball one. Ball down in the dirt.
Looks like the count is 3-1. To the number 2 hitter, Cirilli. Sides and Coons looming on deck and in the hole respectively.
Pitch, fouled back.
Just seems like in this game, Alvernia is getting a little bit out in front of pitches on the outer half. Shenandoah really trying to pound that outside corner to right-handers. And Alvernia getting out a little bit in front, not letting that ball travel and driving it to right field.
Hot, the pitch. Oh, Cirilli thought he had ball 4. First base umpire. They appealed for the check swing. He rings him up.
Yeah.
And that's strike 3.
Don't have much of an argument from the first base coach. Or Dunn at first base. They had the best view of that. The fans behind the right-handed hitter have the worst view at that, and those are the ones screaming the loudest. So certainly seems like the crew got that call right.
And Sides takes strike 1. Pitch from Hot. Upstairs, ball 1. That one down in the dirt. Ball 2.
Sides another guy. I'd like to know his numbers for this entire regional. Certainly doesn't seem like he's necessarily lived up to his talent level. And so Sides, in fact, has had an excellent tournament.
That pitch misses 3-2. Sides hasn't had his best game today in this one, but he's had a couple other games where he's managed to pick up some hits here and there and has a pretty good batting average thus far in the regional.
Yeah, one extra base hit. Again, not necessarily Sides game, does have a lot of triples on the year, is a multi-dimensional offensive threat, has 1 triple in the regional.
Swung on and hit through the right side. Deflects off the second baseman's glove. Baker slows it down enough. Make it an RBI single by Sides. Schaefer scoring on the play.
Big
And
2-out
down to
hit.
third.
Yeah, big 2-out hit from Sides. That'll bring Coons to the plate. Dunn able to
6.
go first to third on that single. Now the powerful Coons represents the go-ahead run. Again, the wind has been blowing in most of the day today. Ball not carrying like it has before. I think we've only seen 1 home run on the day.
Sharkey with a home run for Wheaton over the arch nemesis, the wall out in left field.
We've had multiple home runs in the 2 previous days. Now you got to wonder, is Sides going to try to swipe second base? He represents the tying run. Coons, it's ball in the air right on the head of the center fielder, good. And Coons will be retired here in the bottom of the 8th.
We'll be back for the top of the 9th. Shenandoah will bat, leading 8-6. Back in a moment. Now pitching for Alvernia is Kyle Gaynor. Number 22.
I don't have Gaynor as having appeared in a game on the mound this season.
Yeah, Coach He's not showing up anywhere here on the stats unless there was a jersey change we're unaware of. It's Gaynor's first appearance of the year, and he's going to face a pinch hitter from Shenandoah, Dylan Stoffer.
Yeah, Gaynor's also on the roster. It's only a third baseman.
And Stoffer gets a single through the right side. Off of perhaps Gaynor. Gaynor, a junior right-hander, 5'10", 185 pounds. Probably looks about right.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He is a pitcher, a guy that's thrown a lot, whether that be in high school, again, and maybe early on in his college career was a two-way guy. Maybe he throws at times as an emergency role. Certainly has a live arm.
And here's a bunt from Cameron. First baseman Briner gets it to Cerulli, a successful sacrifice bunt. Cruz is running at second base.
So Rice with the sacrifice bunt, moving Cruz up to second base for the shortstop, Marcel.
The pitch from Gaynor, up high for a ball.
And the Shenandoah faithful starting a "Here we go, Robbie" chant. Going back to Gaynor making his first appearance on the mound. We've talked about it multiple times. When you have a roster limit of 25 in the NCAA regional, when you're playing as many games, Alvernia's in their 27th inning in the past 3 days. If your starters don't give you innings, and we've seen Marotta only went one today, you have to get creative with some of your roster spots. So having a guy that's thrown in the past is important. I personally would like to see, I don't know too many teams at this level that have 25 guys, that have less than 30 guys. I wouldn't mind seeing possibly that NCAA raise that number to maybe 28, even 27, possibly letting teams get a couple more pitchers in there, guys that throw throughout the year and that are unavailable, because typically you'll have at least 2 players at each position in case something happens. Right there you're talking 18 guys. You're going to need more than 2 catchers. You're probably carrying 3 catchers in the regional. So right there you have 19 position players at least. If you don't have, that'd be 17 position players. That leaves room for 8 pitchers.
And there's one hit by Marcel. Foul ball.
So if you're a team that doesn't have a lot of two-way players, you can be in trouble because either you're short on the mound or you don't have the depth that you'd like at some position. Maybe you, instead of carrying a backup second baseman and a backup shortstop, you can only carry one backup middle infielder that backs up both places. Because the one area, if you're going to make it through this tournament, the one area you need to have depth is arms. That's for sure. And you don't want to get caught in a situation where you're having to throw somebody in the most important inning of the year that hasn't thrown an inning all season.
And Marcel is hit by the pitch. Cruz was on the move. He heads back to second.
We mentioned this earlier with Zimmerman, who came in to pitch the second inning for his only second appearance of the season, but not saying Gaynor lacks talent, because he certainly has a live arm throwing 83, 84 miles an hour. but just goes to show you the experience of not holding runners. Cruz able to pick something up to attempt to steal third there. Luckily for Alvernia, the 9-hitter Marcel was hit by the pitch, so Cruz had to return to second base. But if you have a pitcher that hasn't thrown meaningful innings at this level, they're not going to be able to handle everything that comes with it, with the details of holding runners. You know, instead of changing their looks up at second base, you know, maybe they're a one-look guy and go. And a good base runner like Cruz is going to pick up on that and be able to steal third if you're not paying attention to him.
And we kind of have dueling chants from the Alvernia fans, the Hornet fans. We want to hit. After Alvernia cheering on their pitching and defense. Baker with runners on first and second, one away. Fouled back. Two, the count between Gaynor and Baker. The pitch swung on and chopped over to first base. Briner looks to second. Out races the hitter over to the bag. Steps on first. Now runners on second and third with 2 outs. For number 51, Orocho.
Good decision there by Briner. Would have been a tough play to try to get the runner at second, taking the sure out at first. And here we go.
Fouled back by Orocho.
So
Takes the ball up high.
We talk about Gaynor making his first appearance on the mound in this elimination game, but Gaynor is executing one pitch away from getting out of the top of the ninth without allowing a run.
Good effort. His first appearance of the year, but here's a liner from Orocho.
Great swing. Great swing by Orocho. Being the left-handed hitter that he is, that ball tails back to the center fielder Rieger. Most of us thought that ball was going in the gap, a 2-run double, possibly triple. Slices back to Rieger, who makes the play, and that's the 3rd out in the top of the 9th. So Alvernia has 3 outs to work with to score 2 runs off of the closer for Shenandoah. We'll be back with the bottom of the 9th after this.
And Matt Briner will lead off here in the bottom of the ninth. Alvernia down to their last 3 outs, trailing Shenandoah in an elimination game 8-6 here at Peoples Bank Park.
Yeah, not bad. If you're going to need a couple runs, to have Briner starting off the inning, followed by Dubas and Esposito. 2 lefties and a righty here to face the right-handed Hot, who I believe would be looking for his 11th save of the season.
That would be correct.
And his second of the tournament.
Hot now ahead of Briner, 0-2. That one misses for a ball.
After an 0-2 fastball, up out of the zone, you got to think maybe an off-speed pitch here coming from Hot. That was a 73 mile an hour. I think it was a changeup. Good job by Briner, able to foul that off. Briner, very difficult hitter to strike out. Coming into the regionals, only struck out 4 times in 124 at-bats.
There's a foul ball down the left side.
Briner, great hand-eye coordination. Quick hands, able to wait to the last possible second.
And a ground ball by Briner through the middle.
Great job by Briner. Excellent at bat. Works the count, gets a pitch up, out over the plate, singles up the middle. And the chances of Alvernia tying the game just went up drastically with the leadoff hitter of the inning getting on base.
And now you have Dubas, a power hitter, representing the tying run, 8-6 here in the bottom of the ninth. The wind really seems to have been knocking some balls down, maybe hit to right field. So for these left-handed power hitters, not quite sure what that'll do to them if they get into one.
Yeah, I think it'll be tough to hit. Yeah, it'll be tough to hit a ball out. I think down the right field, especially right center, right field maybe. Left field. Ooh, good hack by Dubas. Left field we have the fence, 300 down the left field line. The arch nemesis.
It is 37 feet and 8 inches tall.
We did see a ball clear that in our last game.
Two home runs total over it, I believe, in the tournament, including Sharkey's last game as Wheaton, the 3 seed, remained undefeated, the only undefeated team left in the tournament. Johns Hopkins took their first loss. Great effort by the Lions of Wheaton. And here's a pitch. And Dubas hits that one the other way to left field, where Good puts it away. Good is slid over to left field. Cruz is manning center.
Yeah, and you can see why Hot has been one of the best relief pitchers in Division III baseball. He has a heater in the mid-80s. Good off-speed pitch, changeup. That's 3 pitches, 3+ pitches for the right-hander. And he'll face another good hitter in Esposito, Franco Esposito. 1 for 4 on the day. Represents a tying run.
Briner down on first, the base runner, as Esposito takes strike 1.
Alex Selesky on deck. The Crusaders pinch hit for their catcher the last time, Carbonera, the last time through the order. Selesky, the left-handed hitting catcher, is on deck.
There's a hit by Esposito through the right side. Station to station, first and second with the 1 out.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Esposito is pinch ran for here the tying run. Esposito, not the fleetest of foot. You're going to want someone with good wheels. Yep, and in fact, here comes
Icabellis.
Yeah, Jacobellis running at first. Good move by Coach Lutz. Got to have a runner out there that's able to score on a ball in the gap. Alex Selesky up. Selesky hit a couple of balls hard. He started game 1 today, game 3 of the tournament for Alvernia. He hit a couple balls hard. Good looking swing. Ball jumps off his bat. The left-handed hitter. Decent matchup against the right-handed pitcher, Hot. Of course, not the easiest thing to do to be sitting on the bench for 3 hours and then be asked to come up in a big spot down 2 with the tying run on first. And gets fooled by a changeup.
Offers at that one. Not happy with himself.
Great pitch by Hot, using Selesky's aggressiveness against him. Hot 1 pitch away, can get a ground ball, double play, and get out of this. Hot trying to send his Hornets from Shenandoah to Sunday of our Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Pitch, strike 2, 1-2.
So far, Hot's decided to attack Selesky with off speed.
Swung on and missed. Selesky down on strikes.
Yeah, another breaking ball out of the strike zone gets Selesky to chase. He goes back to the dugout. Now Dylan Dunn, the 9th hitter in the order for the Crusaders. He has a chance to keep this inning and this season alive for the Crusaders. Rieger on deck.
Pitch from Hot. Outside for a ball.
And the game plan against Hot has to be to spit on those off-speed pitches. Try to get ahead in the count, get a good fastball up to hit. The off-speed pitches from Hot have been very effective, very good.
There's strike 1.
A change up there. Seems like when Hot needs to make a pitch, he's going with either his changeup or his breaking ball.
Swung on and Dunn drives it to left field. Coming on is good. And the Hornets survive. The Crusaders, a great effort to try to rally here in the 9th. With runners on, they had the winning run at the plate. Just couldn't complete it as Hot pitches out of the jam, gets his 11th save of the year with a couple innings of pretty good relief pitching.
Yeah, those 5 runs that Alvernia gave up in the first inning proved to be too much to overcome. The bullpen for Alvernia did an excellent job, only giving up 3 runs in
8 innings.
In 8 innings, gave their offense a chance to creep back into it. The offense scores 6 in the first 8. It's an 8-6 game in the bottom of the 9th. Get 2 runners on base, but then they go down, strike out for out number 2, line out to left field for out number 3, and Alvernia's season comes to an end. They go 2-2 in the Mid-Atlantic Regional. Excellent season. The number 10 seeded Shenandoah Hornets move on to Sunday to face Johns Hopkins in what will be an elimination game. That'll be the 5th game of the tournament for the Shenandoah Hornets and the 4th game of the tournament for the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. The winner of that elimination game will move on to face Wheaton in the championship round. That team that survives between Shenandoah and Johns Hopkins will have to beat Wheaton twice to move on to the College World Series. So, good win this evening by Shenandoah. Another great day in day 3 of our Mid-Atlantic Regional.
Steve Jones gets the win, Marotta the loss. And as Coach said, we'll be back tomorrow for more exciting action here at the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional. It's 11:11 p.m. Let's sign off, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good.